Boxing Club, kickboxer, boxer, MMA, everything. Dewey Cooper. Dewey, just wanted to get your thoughts. Something going around here lately. Controversy involving Duke Roufus. The system of his training. You know, you're a trainer yourself, so I just wanted to get your thoughts. I know you actually fought him too quite a long time ago. Just your overall impressions on the situation that's going on right now with him.
First of all, the Roufus family is an awesome family. They're a family who've been into the martial arts game for many, many years. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Duke Roufus Sport Gym that he built from the ground up, and it's one of the top gyms in the world. Duke is an awesome guy. His training is highest level, and it's very unfortunate what he's going through out there.
Yeah, like Cat Berry, Rosa, Namjunas, Eric Schafer, a few other people had some bad things to say about him and his methods. Are you familiar at all with what goes on in the gym as far as how hard they work? And if so, you know, what are your thoughts as a trainer and as a fighter about how hard they work in there?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the methods they do. I fought Duke and I fought several of Duke's fighters. Listen, man, I'm really sad that Pat and a few of his pro fighters came out talking negatively about what they've done in training. Listen, he's a high-level gym. You guys are pro fighters. You're supposed to be pushed to your highest level. You gotta train hard. I'm from One Kick's gym here in Las Vegas. We spar hard, we train hard, because we're pros, man. Our goal is to be the best in the world. Therefore, you must train hard and strong like the best in the world. I'm really sad that pro fighters will come out talking negatively about their trainer that they train with for such a long, extended amount of time. I understand if it was from one camp, you didn't like what you experienced and you left. But don't talk crap about a guy you train with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. That's just not right. It's just not right.
Well, let me ask you this. You're not in their camp, so you may not know specifically what goes on there, but one of the charges was kind of like bullying for some of the fighters. How is it handled in gyms that you've been a part of, or is that something that you see a lot?
The bullying situation is a really touchy, delicate topic, but come on.
Or is it bullying because you're trying to toughen them up, too?
You know, One Kick's gym, like I said, the gym I've been with for over 21 years, is a tough gym if you're a pro fighter. Don't get me wrong, when you're amateur fighters, you're beginning fighters, the training's different, the mentality is different. But come on, when you're a pro fighter, there's not such thing as bullying. I don't like it, I think it's garbage, and I have to call guys out on that. You know, you can get killed in the ring. You can be blinded with one punch. You can be brain dead. You can get paralyzed. That's not nice. So if someone yelling at you or making you spar extra round or two is considered bullying, get the hell out of the sport. Be an amateur. Be a poser. Don't be a real fighter, man. I'm not with the bullying thing. You know, there's a such thing of bullies, but there's not such thing of getting bullied. No pro fighter should be able to get bullied, first of all, because you're supposed to put your best effort and fight hard as you can every day. No one should have to push you to fucking train hard. Excuse my language, but I'm very serious about that, man. So I don't like it. It's garbage. I don't like it.
And then a lot of this came out just to finish up with the fight where unfortunately an amateur fighter having his first fight, you know, died performing in the ring. What were your thoughts on that? I mean, I know having been a fighter, having been a trainer, you know, work corners and that kind of thing. Do you think that there were obvious mistakes made? And then what do you think about the way that was handled from, you know, from the position, the corner, etc.?
Very bad situation. Remember, we're talking about pros earlier, making negative comments and about bullying. Like I said, when you're an amateur, there's certain protocols that go along with being an amateur fighter, a first-time amateur fighter, training for only a year, training for 6 months, training for 5 years. There's different mentalities and different expectations that are put upon you by your trainers. With that being said, that fight was definitely handled very poorly. Everyone was at mistake. The referee, first of all, was horrible. He let the guy take a beating for the second round. Third round, the guy was done. The fight should have been stopped at least by the 40-second mark of that fight. I watched that fight 100 times. The fight should have been stopped. Most importantly, though, the trainer. I understand we want to win, but it's the guy's first amateur fight. He was done after the first round in which he won, but he was done. Second round, I understand, let him go. Hopefully he can get a second, third win, but he did. After the second round, the fight should have been stopped. If you push your fighter that hard, pick him up out the stool, make him fight that final round, you have to be very cautious and keep an eye on him. If he definitely has nothing left and has no chance of winning, you must throw the towel in and stop the fight. You have to save your fighter. That's your job as a trainer. You're supposed to have compassion. You're supposed to have love. You're supposed to care about your guy. So the trainer failed tremendously. The referee failed at his job tremendously. And the doctor, the worst I've seen. Looking at his phone, not paying attention. The guy collapsed after the fight. You roll him out the ring and raise him up. I mean, this kid got treated like livestock getting led to the slaughterhouse. It was really disgusting. And I love Duke Roufus. It was his show, but I don't hold him responsible for that because Duke hired people to do a certain job and those 3 people failed him. And I don't like it. It's bad. But as far as the fight, absolutely horrendous. It was tragic. It was completely wrong. And the ref, the cornerman, and the doctor really need to have something done to them because they did not show any compassion or they were not professional at all. They did a horrible job, really horrible.
And then just very last question, when you're in the corner, what kind of, you kind of touched on a little bit, what kind of things are you looking at? I mean, they showed, that he was staggering and that he was, having to be picked up and slapped around and that kind of thing. What kind of things are you looking at a trainer that shows that your fighter is maybe more than just, hurt or tired, but he's actually in physical danger?
I'm a trainer. I train a lot of fighters. And like I said, I train at One Kicks Gym. I have to keep harping back on that. We don't believe in quitting. We don't believe in punking out. We'll take our losses if we get them, but we're not going to cower out. With that being said, you have to know your fighter. You have to know how hard he trained. You have to know his conditioning levels, and you have to know when it's over and not put your ego in the way. The guy was done. I'm willing to die in the ring. I'll be the first to say it, but I train so I don't have to die in the ring. I train very hard every day. But if I were ever in that same situation, and Nick's been in my corner for over 50, 60, 70 fights, I know Nick, one kick, Blumgren would have threw the towel in and stopped the fight, saved me from myself. And that's what the corner man should have did. And if Nick and I had big egos and wanted to fight to the death, that's when the referee should have did his job. And it was complete failure on all those guys' part. You have to know your fighter, and remember, a first-time amateur making his first fight should not be fed to the wolves like that and be slaughtered like that. It was inhuman what happened to him, and it's just bad to watch.
Yeah, so I lied. I do have one more question. Considering he was an amateur, not a professional, is that, obviously most of know, but they should have stopped him much quicker than you would, someone like you, obviously.
Like I said, there's different, excuse my language, but I gotta say it like this. There's different levels to this shit. Beginning amateur, intermediate amateur, world-class, advanced amateur. Now you got run-of-the-mill professional, you got B-level professionals, you got world champions. There's different levels. You have to know your fighter. And for a guy making his first fight, amateur, first fight in the amateur ranks, you have to show more compassion and more just humanity to that guy. You had to stop the fight. I say stop it after the second round, but remember, I understand what his corner was thinking. You won the first round, he won the second, salve it up. Get your second win. You can win this. But once you put the guy in for the final round and he's completely done, getting beat up from rope to rope to rope, not giving any opposition, back to the guy beating on him, you got to stop the fight. They failed, and someone should be in some serious trouble and have some serious repercussions from it.
But overall, for Duke Roufus, you stand by his system when he teaches in the gym.
I stand by Duke. He's produced champions. I fought him myself. He's a great champion, multi-time champion himself. He's been dedicated to the sport of Muay Thai for over 30 years. There is tough love in this sport, but I'm sure he doesn't treat the amateurs like he treats his TV fighting pros, UFC fighters, K1s, Pride fighters, Bellator fighters. You're supposed to be hard on these guys because they are the highest level of the sport. And any guy saying he's bullied, been a pro, to me is a punk, straight up. I know Pat Barry. Pat Barry is my friend. But come on, man, you know, Pat, you're a tough guy. You're a warrior. Don't say your trainer bullied you. It's not cool.
I do appreciate it.